Y'all the reason we keep pushing. Keep on talking, we like
These
it.
people keep talking about me, but I don't care what they say. These people keep talking about me, but I don't care what they say. They talking about, they hating on me, they wanna see me fall. These people keep talking about me, but I don't care what they say.
K Paso Mufaso, and welcome. You are on another episode of Sigma Lifestyle, powered by Project Expertise. I'm the project, and I'm going to give you the expertise. Sitting in with me is a clinical psychologist. That is Dr. Bearstein, or should I say a bearcologist. Don't want to get in any trouble. He is my co-pilot. Do me a favor. You know the YouTube etiquette. If you do not, I'm going to share it with you. You are supposed to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or the notification bell just might hit you. I hope you've had a great Saturday. Hope your weekend is going well. I hope you are healthy. I hope you are happy. And I hope wisdom is raining down on you. By now, you should be wondering, what are you talking about, Walt Diddy? What you talking about, Walt Diddy? I'm glad you asked. I'm here to share with you something that we all should know. But if you don't, that's why I'm here. I'm going to explain why childhood traumas affect adults later in life. You see it a lot on YouTube. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot hide our emotional traumas. They're going to come out. The mask will drop. I am guilty as anyone else. And everything I'm going to share with you is from personal experience. What we're going to do here on the main channel is just set up you to come join me on Project Expertise. That is the new home. That is my calling. That is what I am supposed to be doing, and that's what I'm going to do. All the entertainment and all that other banter is something that does not interest me any longer. So if you're watching this will be coming down off the main channel. Go ahead and join me at that link right there at Project Expertise, where I'm the project and I share with you the expertise, and we all can have a healthier, happier life. Let's go to the chat and see what's happening there before we get too far in the week. Shout out to my number one here. That is Carlton. Shout out to Carlito for coming by. He says, salute Walt Diddy in chat. We say salute to you, sir. Shout out to DBS. That is Daniel Berry Sports Highlight, who always come in on the check-in. I really, really appreciate it. Anyone that's watching in the clouds, thank you very, very much. And again, you are asking, I know what you're wondering. What you talking about, Walt Diddy? I'm going to explain why childhood traumas affect adults later in life. They always are going to resurface unless they are identified, healed, and you will regret not doing so. It is painful to relive. It is painful emotionally to have to go back in the past and heal those old wounds, but it must be done or you will inflict them on others. Now, I know what you're thinking as a man. Men are supposed to be logical. Women are emotional. Well, I'm afraid we all have emotions. All right, we all have emotions, fear, anxieties, love, a little bit of envy. A lot of these things are emotions, but they have a home. There's a foundation. There's a root cause to why we feel the way we do and why we act out and or inflict those emotional traumas onto others. Let's get right into the information. And what I did, I went to Google. Google can be used as a tool, or you can just entertain yourself and try to mask those emotional traumas that we suffered as a child, and I promise you they will resurface. First question I asked Google, how many Americans suffer from mental health, meaning mental health problems? The answer I got was more, and if you didn't notice, I'm going to read so you don't have to. Shout out to everybody who's watching on Project Expertise. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell there, please. More than 1 in 5 U.S. adults, over 60 million people, live with a mental illness This includes approximately 14.6 million adults with a serious mental illness problem, or let's say opportunity. Among youth and young adults, the prevalence is even higher, with conditions like anxiety and depression being the most common. I dove just a little bit deeper, as you can see as some of the highlights. Adults, 23% of U.S. adults. There's 330 million, 50 million, however you do the math. That is a high percentage of people walking around in the workplace, in our families, in your fraternities, in your lodges, your sororities. We are surrounded by people that are mentally suffering. Young adults, people aged 18 to 25, have the highest prevalence rate, with over 33% experience mental health challenges. Those are our young people. Those are the future. As Whitney Houston once sang, I believe the children are our future, and our children are suffering mentally. Why is that? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to dig into my own personal experience, and hopefully it helps someone. Moving on with another stat, serious cases. 5.6% of adults live with a serious mental illness that significantly impairs life activities. Those are a bunch of the homeless people that we're seeing. A lot of them are suffering from mental illness. It's not always addiction to a substance. A lot of that stems from mental illness. And children and teens, estimated at 1 in 6 youth from ages of 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder. I asked another question. How many Americans suffer from depression and anxiety? This is the answer I got. Anxiety and depression are among the most common mental health conditions in the United States, with 1 in 5 adults regularly experiencing these symptoms and having these opportunities. Anxiety and depression is something that it can break you. It breaks relationships, it breaks down the body, it breaks down the spirit, and it breaks down your health. Anxiety. Over 42 million Americans live with anxiety disorders, and roughly 18% of adults experience symptoms of anxiety in any given 2-week period. So every 2 weeks, our colleagues, our families, our sisters, our brothers, our daughters, our sons are suffering from anxiety. As I mentioned, our anxiety affects the nervous system. You'll have body aches, cramps, sicknesses, stomach aches, thyroid conditions. Anxiety affects the central nervous system, which keeps us alive. Moving right along with another key stat or two before we get into what is holding us back. Depression. More than 47 million adults, roughly 18.3% of the population, report having or being treated for depression, with 21% experiencing symptoms during any 2-week given period. Every 2 weeks, right? Look at the colleagues that call out from work, late from work. The production is poor. Look at your students. Look at your sister, your brother, your aunts, your uncles, your mother, your father, anyone from any walk of life. Absolutely look at your celebrities, your politicians. No one is immune from these feelings and emotions. Moving right along with some more information that was intriguing to me. Relationship, banter, conversation, the back and forth is huge on YouTube, the blame game. But how are our mothers doing, our daughters doing, the future homemakers, and the very vessel that we all came through to be here on this plane that we call Earth? How many American women suffer from depression? According to Google AI, approximately 12 million American women experience clinical, keep that in mind, clinical depression each year, and roughly 1 in 4 will endure a major depressive episode in their lifetime. Women are nearly twice as likely to be diagnosed with depression compared to men, with symptoms peaking primarily between the ages of 18 and 45. That's the prime of her life. All right. And we put all this extra strain and stress on her about relationships, what a woman should be, what a woman looks like. I can imagine, ladies, I can only imagine, because I'm not a woman, how depressive that could be. How much anxiety and stress on your central nervous system with all the labels that's placed upon you. In my mind's eye, I see it like a NASCAR with all the advertisement, you just all those labels. You don't know, hell, who's paying all the money. But that said, women lead the way with depression. Now, this is diagnosed. How much is going undiagnosed is the scary part of this conversation. Annually, prevalence over 10% of women battle major depression annually, with a notable surge in cases among young women. I believe that children are our future, as Whitney says. The young women are our mothers. Those are our sisters, our daughters, our nieces, the future. Lifetime risk, up to 36.7% of women report being diagnosed with depression at least once in their life. That's damn near 4 out of 10 women. Once in her life, she's had a damn near a nervous breakdown. And we can call it that because depression and anxiety affects the central nervous system. But everything has a root. Where does this come from? And I'm going to share with you some factors growing up in childhood that most likely, because I'm not a clinical psychologist, I don't have a degree in this, I've just lived it, and I am not that special, and perhaps you've also had these opportunities. What could lead to anxiety, depression in adulthood? What catches up with us from our childhood that's affecting the way we live and how we treat others in our relationships? First, these happened to me. Emotional neglect. Were you neglected as a child? Did your parents' needs, grandparents, and everyone else seem to come first? Was people absent when you needed them the most? Whether it was to protect you, ma'am, from the creepy guy? Was it protect you, sir, from the bullies in the neighborhood? Was it to protect you from the institution that we call education in the school system? Was your parents at the PTA meetings and all of these things to show that they cared so you would not be mistreated or left behind? This could be a factor, and it absolutely, positively happened to me. Let's find out. What is emotional neglect? Not having emotional needs consistently acknowledged or responded to by caregivers, whoever you were living with, that was your caregiver. Not having them consistently, not all the time, no one's perfect, but consistently acknowledged or responded to. Hey, figure it out. If you're Generation X like me, we are mentally challenged. Don't let them fool you. We are the latchkey kids, meaning we let ourselves in. The TV raised us, right? If it wasn't for Family Matters and the Cosby Show and things like that, we'd be in bad situations than we were now. We made our own foods, while our parents did whatever said hell our parents did. Moving right along. What are the effects on the individual? Difficulty identifying or naming their own emotions. If you can't deal it and put a label on it and name what's going on with you, it's going to affect you adversely. So difficulty identifying or naming their own emotions. Chronic feelings of emptiness or numbness. A tendency to dismiss their own needs. We hear the saying, put yourself first, but it's not as easy as it seems, right? A lot of those that tell you that suffer from the dark triad: narcissism, psychopathy, lack of empathy. But those of us that's a little empathetic, it was hard until you figured and identified that these things happen to you. Effects on relationships. Struggles to ask for support, fears of being too much or not enough may gravitate toward partners who are similarly emotionally unavailable. We don't get what we want in life, we get what we are. So if you are emotionally needy, you're going to probably attract those that's going to take advantage of you and probably suffer from all three or at least one of the dark triad: psychopathy, narcissism, and or lack of empathy. Moving on to number 2. What could be number 2 on the list, ladies and gentlemen? Verbal abuse. Oh, wow, did I get this one? Chronic criticism or belittling. Why'd you do that? That was stupid. That was dumb. What were you thinking? You're smarter than that. I can't believe you done that. Hey, look what I did, It's okay. You could have did better. The great Les Brown said it takes 17 other people to come correct the one negative statement someone casts a spell on you verbally. You're stupid. You need 17 other people to come tell you, wow, that was smart. Wow, that was great. How did you do that? So number 2 is verbal abuse, chronic criticism, or belittling. Does this sound like some of your childhood? Damn sure mine is my personal experience. Repeated exposure to harsh words, name calling. God, how many times did I hear dummy? Hey, dummy. But in the words of Chris Brown, look at me now. Sarcasm or demeaning statements. What is the effects on an individual? These was their effects on me. Deep-seated shame. Harsh inner critic. Are you your own worst critic? Well, guess what? It's not hereditary. It was planted in you by the environment that you grew up in. Perfectionism, or conversely learned helplessness or low self-worth. Do you think you just create a self-worth? No, it was spoken on you. The power of life and death is in the tongue. Faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing. So every day, from a kid to the time you leave home, you're dumb, you're stupid, you can't do that. Why'd you do that? That is going to have an effect on you. Effects on the relationships that you may have with your significant other or those in your family. Hypersensitivity. Wow, I used to have that one. To perceive criticism, divisiveness, or withdrawal during conflicts. Fight or flight, anyone? Difficulty trusting praise or kindness from others. When you suffer from these traumas and abuses growing up, you think as a late teen, adolescent, young adult, that people are giving you underhanded compliments because you're just not used to receiving them. Like, what the hell is this? Moving on to number 3. Number 3 on the list of trauma, scars that affect you late in life that you may take out on others, your friends, your families, your significant others, and just reinforces or puts you in the loop. Number 3 is witnessing DV. If you grew up Generation X, you've seen some DV. Now, DV is not just physical. What is this? Being present when one caregiver physically or emotionally abuses the other. Oh, it goes both ways. I've had family members where the female in the relationship, she treats the dude like a rag doll, verbally. Lashes with her tongues, her negative statements, downing him. Or I've seen the opposite where it was physical. What is this? Mom and dad, they showed me a lot of this growing up. What are the effects on the individual? Chronic hyperarousal. Sleep problems. God, did I have them growing up. Difficulty regulating anger or fear. higher risk of anxiety disorders. No one is perfect, but these are the things that shaped us as kids, adolescents, teenagers, young adults that is affecting you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. That midlife crisis is not normal. It is you being back in the loop of all this that you grew up in without resolving the traumas, healing the traumas, identifying the traumas, and moving forward to a healthy life. What are our effects on the relationships? The relationships in your home, at work, your fraternity, your sorority, your lodge. Either reenacting the victim perpetrated dynamic or becoming overly passive intensive. Fear of abandonment. How many of us had that fear of abandonment? She's going to leave me. He's going to leave me. And you acted out. All right. You had the faith to call forth those things that be not as though they were, but you did it negatively. And what we asked this universe for, somehow we receive. We receive negativity, right? Negative things and forces and energy comes and moves faster than positivity. Positivity, the good things in life, we must be patient for, and they just take their time delivering sometimes. But we have that fear of abandonment, fear of intimacy, difficulty trusting safety in relationships. Difficulty trusting in a relationship will always destroy said relationship. We just have a few more to go through and we'll have a conversation. Number 4, wow. If you come from a single parent home and you're a guy, you probably more often than not felt this one. Parentification, role reversal. Were you a son husband? Did the son husband role ever happen to you? How about you, Bam? Do you have brothers and like, damn, he's a son husband, but you just couldn't tell him, you couldn't help him. I understand. We understand. What is this all about? Well, it happened to me, and perhaps it may have happened to you. Being forced to take on adult responsibilities, caring for siblings, managing household finances. A lot of guys always, I had to help pay the bills when I was 15. I had to pay the bills when I was 13. Nothing healthy about that. Or meeting a parent's emotional needs. Were you an emotional tampon, sir? Did you have to hear all the problems that you did not create? Did you get all the resentment? Damn, you look like your dad, but dad's gone. It didn't work out. Guess who has to hear all the drama? It happens. Our parents are human. A lot of them didn't even realize they were doing these things. Perhaps it happened to them and it's all a loop. These are the generational curses that we speak of. More often than not, our parents did not do these things to us intentionally. Our caregivers did not do this to us intentionally, but unfortunately it happened. What are the effects on relationships? What's the effect on the individual, first and foremost? Chronic guilt. When not doing enough. You've ever felt bad? You wonder why a lot of NBA players and NFL players go broke taking care of their single baby mama. I'm talking about their mama, not their baby mama. It's this right here. They've been doing it. Been doing it forever. That AU coach is slipping them cash to pay bills, taking money from whoever in college to help pay bills back home. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it is. Difficulty relaxing or plain resentment masked by over functioning. How could this affect your relationships? You attracted to needy or dependent partners. You're not the needy one. You try to overcome, but you attract needy people when you don't identify and heal this trauma. So attracted to needy or dependent partners, enmeshed, and low tolerance for others. It could be emotional immaturity. Man, I suffered from that for a while. Eventual burnout and secret anger. We think in secret. We think we know everybody. No, 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 you don't. Read a book from James Allen, right? The book from James Allen that I read had to do to telling us that we think in secret, right? The name of the book is As a Man Thinketh. And it's a great passage in there just reminding us all that we think in secret. You do not know what I'm thinking right now. You hear what I'm saying, but you have no idea what I'm thinking, and that information is confidential. Moving on to number 5 out of 7, loss of a parent, death, divorce, or abandonment. If you come from Generation X, we led the way in divorces. We showed you millennials. The boomers showed us Gen Xers, millennials, and zillennials how to get married and break up the home for all the selfish reasons in the world. If you're a Gen Xer, more often than not, you grew up before you got out of high school, your parents were divorced. Everyone on my road, whether white, black, Puerto Rican, or Haitian, divorce ran prevalent. All right. But here's what happens in that situation. Sudden or traumatic separation from a primary attached figure without adequate emotional processing. That is an amazing thing. It was tough. One day, me, my brother, my mother and father had dinner the next day. My daddy went to work and never came back again. I was 8 years old. High school graduation, he wasn't there. Football games, I'm all conference, wasn't there. I got married, was not there. We think as men that we could just suppress this, fight on, but it affected me. It affected me. And it took probably about 10 years ago for me to go down my emotional timeline, and I wrote the book on that. I'll be sharing on Project Expertise, How to Heal Your Emotional Timeline. It was difficult. It caused me a lot of illnesses later in life, thyroid disease. I'm absolutely ripped right now, but in 2012, I weighed 135 pounds. The anxiety, all of the depression, the jitters, everything started getting to me. And if I did not go down memory lane and resolve these things, I would not be here with you today. How does that affect then the individual? This is how it affected me. It affected my core beliefs that people leave or relationships in. Unresolved grief that surfaces as depression and numbness. Wasn't a good feeling. Was not a good feeling on parents' night. Nobody there. We undefeated. Never forget it. 1993, football game. We was the ish. The band was rocking. It was parents' night. I watched a lot of people, whether they were divorced or not, walked out with their parents. I walked out by myself. 1994, May 28, 1994. Graduation. I didn't think I was going to graduate. I was surprised when I made the cut, but I did. Threw our hats up in the air. No brother. No mother. No father. Nobody was there for me. I suppressed that for a lot of years, but it finally came back up. It always comes back up. So never let anyone tell you, especially the man, to be logical, blah, 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 blah. It does not happen. It does not happen. Our emotions, anxieties, depressions, and things of that nature affect the central nervous system. Moving on to number 6. 2 more to go. Emotional invalidation, gaslighting, or dismissal. To this day, nobody in my family will admit and take ownership of how doo-doo things was growing up as a kid for me, but it's okay. It's okay because I did the work myself, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Here's how it happens to you. Being told that your feelings, memories, or perception are wrong, exaggerated, or just plain cray-cray is crazy. You're exaggerating. No, I didn't do that. Which you know good and well it happened. I knew good and well it happened. And how does it affect an individual? Chronic self-doubt, difficulty making decisions, a habit of second-guessing one's own reality. It may lead to dependency on others, being a codependent, and you're sure to attract someone that suffers from all 3 or at least one of the dark triads: psychopathy, a sociopath, a narcissist, or someone that just has a lack of empathy for others. Would it affect a relationship? I know that's what you're wondering. Over explaining or justifying feelings, staying silent when hurt, prone to staying in a manipulative or abusive dynamic because they doubt their own judgment. You doubt your own judgment, you're gonna doubt that she's a 304, but she loves me. No, she doesn't. He's seen other women, he's treated me badly, but no, he's not. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And moving on to number 7 on the list, the 7 things. These are 7 emotional traumas that will come back to haunt you as an adult. Physical punishment or harsh discipline. If your generation X like me, they thought the key to discipline was to pull out a belt and just beat you down. You grew up watching Good Times. What was James' answer? To beat Michael and JJ. That's the end. You did this, so come here, let me spank you, let me slap you, let me grab something, throw it at you. That's going to make you better. I'm afraid to tell you that it does not work. Frequent spankings, hitting, or punitive measures that induce fear rather than teaching. And these same people, you know how they, I'm going to tell you here's a red flag to somebody that's really hurt from this. Back in my day, we used to get a whooping, blah, blah. Trust me. They are in a dysfunctional relationship. They are dysfunctional, and they never resolve the fact that, damn, I did not deserve that. You could have just talked to me, man. It wasn't that bad. Think about that. That's why you hear it always in the Michael Jackson story. Mike didn't, listen, little, okay, beating me, that's a totally different ball game. And the harsh discipline, right? Harsh words, stupid, blah, blah, blah. The effects on the individual are anxiety, hypervigilance, and tendency to view the world as unsafe. Right? It may even heighten your aggressiveness. You were beaten as a kid, hell, you're going to pick up the first thing you see when the kids do something that they should not do, kids being kids, and you're doing it out of anger. How many people ever told you that, yep, before my daddy disciplined me with the belt, he went and chilled out, relaxed, took a long walk, and then came back and whooped my ass? It does not happen. It happened in pure anger. It wasn't to discipline you. It's because they were angry and they lashed out. Sorry. I can admit it now. Effects on a relationship. Either fear or authority figures in conflict, right? Or repetition of aggressive patterns. Struggles with setting firm but gentle boundaries. And that's usually the woman. She's going to have struggles of boundaries because her mama used to slap her in the mouth and drag her around the house. Right. And here's something to finish up number 7. For all of you that misquote this and don't know where it come from, I'm going to help you. Have you ever heard the saying, spare the rod, spoil the child? Well, you think that's in the King James Version of the Bible. Let's find it in the Bible. Oh, guess what? It's not in the Bible. The phrase spare this rod, spoil the child is actually not in the Bible. It is a famous 17th century proverb from a poem by Samuel Butler. Not Jesus, not Jeremiah, not Daniel, not Malachi, not Jonah, not Paul, not John, not Mark, not Luke, not none of the homies. From somebody named Samuel Butler. However, it is paraphrased in the King James Version. Let me tell you what that really means. And it seems like your pastors and your biblical scholars would tell you this, but they won't. They won't because they were beaten too. Let me tell you what it means, ladies and gentlemen. The rod refers to something totally different than what you are actually thinking that it does. In Proverbs 22:15, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far away. What is the rod? Well, in historical and biblical context, the rod represents discipline and correction, not beatings. discipline and correction. You did this. Okay. What I need you to do now, you need to go out there and milk every goat. You go shave every sheep. You come back. Is it raining? I'm sorry. You're going to go out there and do that. That is discipline and correction. You took something that was not yours. You're going to go give it back. Now you're going to go work for them to pay for it. That is discipline and correction. The rod in biblical terms mean discipline and correction. Proverbs 29 says this: the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. So once again, I know what you're wondering. You should be wondering what you're talking about, Walt Diddy. Well, I just gave you 7. That's right, 7 emotional traumas that happened to me. Perhaps some of them happened to you. And I promise you, if you do not walk down your emotional timeline, go back in the past and do some shadow work, you will suffer. How do we heal these? You have to identify them, right? Number 1, identify the things that happened that was beyond your control growing up. Number 2, look in the mirror and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for feeling guilty for something that you did not do. Forgive yourself for holding on to all this heavy load that's causing depression and anxiety. Number 3, forgive those that did it to you, as I mentioned. I can remember when my mom was in her 30s. We don't know it all. Perhaps they were taught that that was the discipline that was needed. I just showed you the misquote from the Bible, spare the rod, spoil the child. It's a different time. I mean, unless it was absolutely extreme, abuse, right? But you got to forgive them. Forgive them because they knew not what they were doing. Number 4, set an action plan. Set an action plan for when these feelings, emotions hit you. What are you going to do? How are you going to react? Tell yourself that they're not real. Tell yourself that you are a new person. As they like to say in biblical terms, you are born again. You're going to let the past go. You're going to shake it off and pack it under your feet. And number 5, and this is the most important, start looking ahead to the future. If you're forgiving yourself, you're forgiving those that unknowingly did you wrong or did you wrong on purpose, start moving forward. Use it as a teaching tool to help others if you can, whether it's on YouTube like I'm doing right now or someone in your immediate family. But you got to move on. Once you've identified it, once you've forgiven yourself, once you've forgiven the perpetrators, for lack of a better term, it is time to set that action plan and move on. Gotta move on. But if you do not identify these things, they're going to come back to haunt you. There's not enough money that you can make to escape it. There's not enough status that you can attain to escape it. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Some of your favorite YouTubers, you can sit back and listen and watch, and you can see all the traumas. Go back to the list and look at some of your braggadocious, me, spill the tea creators, and I identify them all the time. It is too easy because hurt people hurt people. So remember these 2 things before I go. Number 1, you have an emotional timeline that you can go back and find all of the traumas and all of the things that stained you, hurt you as a child, as an adolescent, as a teen, as a young adult, and you can identify them. You can forgive yourself. You can forgive those that place those pains and burdens upon you. You can set an action plan and you can move forward, or you will pay the consequences of not doing so. And number 2, you've just been on Project Expertise, or I'm the project. I just gave you the expertise. All 7 of these traumas came from my personal experience. I promise you, had I not identified them, took accountability, forgave myself, and did everything I'm telling you, I would not be here with you, because in 2012, I was suffering from hyperthyroidism, 135 pounds, and I thought I was going to die, but I did not. So, you know the YouTube etiquette as I do. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell, or the notification bell just might hit you. Like the harsh reality that we have an emotional timeline. If you do not go back in the past and heal those old traumas and wounds, you will not have the vibrant, healthy future that you deserve. Hope you enjoy this one. Until the next one, I helped you out. At least I helped myself. I don't know these things. What's going on in said chat? I do not know. Shout out to Big Pontiac. Appreciate you coming by, fam. A lot of people are suffering from mental illness. Man, I was one of them. Shout out to Club Fortune for stopping by on the pull up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to help somebody, and that somebody could have been me. Emotional baggage, man. No one is leading you more wrong than men in the manosphere telling you to be so logical and blah, blah, blah. Man, you can't escape the emotions. Sit back and listen to them argue, and you can identify all their emotional traumas. There's a reason they can't stand women, and every day Keisha, Lisa, Leslie, Guadalupe, Maria is in their mouth. They were hurt. They were emotionally scarred, and they won't talk about it. Won't bring it to the forefront, will not forgive themselves, and they will not forgive the she that did it to them. Maybe that she was their mother. I do not know these things, but I know they're hurt. Your favorite tea spillers here on YouTube? Oh, that takes a skill. That takes a skill. Healthy people don't do that. Take somebody like Tasha K in the top. That's a skill. Hurt people. They love nothing more to smear somebody and bring out their dirty laundries. That is a skill. How many healthy, happy, vibrant damn people make they live? I don't know that person. Remember, I'm telling you this. Critics never get statues. Sir, don't you skip, ma'am, you either. Don't skip this video. Critics never receive statues. They do not name streets, buildings, museums after critics. How do I know this? I grew up watching Siskel and Ebert at the movies. Do they have statues? No, they criticize all the movies that they didn't know how to make, could not play in, and made money off of it. Sure, you may make a living. You may make a living spilling the tea. You may make a living bringing up other people's content, breaking them down, trying to humiliate them, but guess what? You will never be celebrated in the end. You will not be remembered when your run is over. Why? Critics do not receive statues, names on streets, holidays named after them, museums, anything good. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules. If you want to make your own rules, make your own game, no one's going to play with you. You get a lot of likes and subscribes. You got a bunch of hurt, sick people in your chat and to follow you. That is fine. Get your money. No problem. Check this out. I'm going to tell you again. Critics do not receive statues, long-term validation, streets named after them, anything good. The late Wendy Williams. Is there a Wendy Williams Avenue? Where is the statue of her at a museum? Are they going to write any great books about Wendy Williams? Are you even talking about Wendy Williams? But guess what? You still talk about Martin Luther King. You still talk about John F. Kennedy. You still talk about Malcolm X. Right? You still talk about Nina Simone. The list go on and on and on and on. Right? You still talking about Michael Jackson. Think about what I'm telling you. And remember these two things before I go. Number one, you critics, ma'am, sir, you're a critic. No one's going to remember you. You will never get a statue. They're not going to name no streets after you. You're not going to get any praise once you are DOA and gone. And number two, you just been on Project Expertise, where I just shared this information with you. You know the YouTube etiquette as I do. You are supposed to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or the notification bell just might hit you. Like the harsh reality that critics do not receive praise when they're gone, statues, names of streets named after them. No, not getting that. Museums, anything good, you will be forgotten. Enjoy your run while you can. I think I did my due diligence right there. Correct me if I'm wrong. You'll never see a critic. Yep. You never will. Never will. Never will. And for some reason, I almost fell for that shit. This is why I am out of the politics game. I don't care any about those things. We're going to work on mental health, helping people. I'm going to share my personal experience. Check me out on this screen right here. This will not stay here, and I'm not going to be long. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell over at Life. I'm giving personal experience. It's going to be a slow go, but listen, my channel's going to blow over there. It's going to be right-sized, and we're going to help each other. We're going to bounce our ideas, this entertainment, crazy things. I'm 50 years old. I do not care. I don't care about the rap battles. I don't care about celebrity gossip. I don't care about dating relationships. I no longer care about what Donald Trump doing, none of those things. I only care about building a community of people that's trying to mentally survive and survive this crazy world that we are living in. The time is 12:46 in the a.m. We're going to go ahead and pull up. I will be back tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed everything. If you are wondering, what was you talking about, Walt Diddy? Well, adults live with childhood trauma. I just shared with you why childhood traumas, affects us later in life if they're unresolved. If you do not do the right thing by yourself, for yourself, and go back down that emotional timeline and find some best work practices that can actually help you out. Hope everyone has a great, great Sunday. As I mentioned, we all know the YouTube etiquette around here. If you found this live stream effective, entertaining, or you just came by and said, hey, he pretty cool, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, or the notification bell just might hit you. Like these high energy prices that we're paying for gas and everything else. Have a great one. Do not do anything that I would not do. And that's a lot of things. This is the end time. See you on the next one.
Y'all the reason we keep pushing. Keep on talking. We like
These
it.
people keep talking about me,